A hollow cabin. The cabin stood at the edge of the woods, crooked and silent, like a secret trying too hard to be forgotten. Gareth didn't remember how he had found it, or if he had found it at all. It was as if the cabin had been waiting for him, crouched low among the dying trees, shivering under a slate-gray sky. The path he had followed had long vanished behind him, swallowed by creeping mist. Only the cabin remained. A part of him said, "Turn back." Another part whispered, "You've already stepped inside." He pushed the door open, and it groaned like something waking from a bad dream. The inside was no better. Wooden floors warped and splintered, a fireplace cold with years of forgotten ash, windows clouded by a stubborn frost. There were no clocks, no sounds. Only Gareth's own heartbeat, pounding against the silence. When he turned to leave, the door was gone. Only the wall remained, as if the door had never been there at all. At first, Gareth thought it was a trick of the mind. He paced the cabin, searching for another way out. A latch, a hatch, anything. The windows were painted shut, the fireplace too narrow to climb. He threw a chair at one wall. The wood swallowed the impact like water. Panic bloomed in his chest. "This isn't real," he muttered, feeling the walls inch closer. "It can't be." But no matter how many times he screamed, no matter how many blows he landed on the walls, nothing changed. The cabin was indifferent. Days, or was it hours, passed. Gareth lost count. His hunger gnawed at him, but worse was the thirst, the dry ache in his throat that no dream could replicate. He stumbled into a corner, breathing ragged. That's when he heard it. The faintest whisper. "You're not alone." He whirled around, nothing but dust and silence. But the words wormed into his mind, planting doubt. Maybe something was trapping him here. Maybe someone was watching. Maybe he wasn't as alone as he thought. Each night, the cabin shifted. The furniture creaked into new positions. Shadows stretched and curled across the floorboards. Once, he awoke to find a second chair pulled up next to him, though he had never moved it. The cabin became a mirror, reflecting every fear Gareth had never dared to name. Memories bled through the walls. His failures, his regrets, his broken dreams, his father's disappointed stare, the job he quit halfway through, the relationships he let rot in silence. One night, as he clawed at the fogged window, he saw a boy outside, 10 years old, staring back at him. A boy with Gareth's own eyes. "Help me," the boy whispered. But Gareth only sank to the floor, broken. The first change came when he stopped struggling. Sitting cross-legged in the center of the room, Gareth closed his eyes. For the first time, he listened. Not for sounds, but for the heartbeat of the cabin itself. Beneath the silence, he heard it. A slow, heavy rhythm matching his own. The cabin wasn't a prison. It was him. Every splintered wall, every locked window, every hidden door. Manifestations of his own doubt, his fear of failing, his terror of dreaming bigger than he could achieve. "You can't escape if you don't believe you can," a voice whispered, his own voice. And when he opened his eyes, there was a crack in the far wall, a hairline fracture glistening with possibility. Hope flickered, tentative and weak. He crawled toward the crack, fingertips brushing its surface. The wall trembled under his touch. Images flashed behind his eyelids. Gareth stepping into a university he thought he'd never be accepted to. Gareth picking up the phone to reconnect with his estranged brother. Gareth standing on a stage, speaking words he thought he'd never be brave enough to say. Each image widened the crack, but fear clawed back. "You're nothing," hissed a voice, deep and familiar. Gareth faltered. For a moment, the crack shrank, the wall stitching itself shut. But then he remembered the boy outside the window, the boy who still waited. He thought of all the moments he had given up before even trying. He thought of how much time he'd spent in invisible cages. "No more," he said aloud. And with that, he pushed. The wall split apart, beams of cold light pouring through. Beyond the cabin was not just the woods, but a vast open world, crackling with colors he hadn't seen since he was a boy. Gareth stumbled into the light, gasping. The cabin crumbled behind him, collapsing into itself with a sigh of finality. He fell to his knees on soft grass, the world humming around him. The boy was gone, replaced by something better, a future unwritten. Tears blurred his vision, but he smiled. He was free. He had always been free. The only cage had been the one he built himself. And now it was gone.